Alright, in this video I'm going to be talking about peeking and the different ways to peek, different angles in different scenarios. Because there's kind of different ways you can peek things, but the most common stuff you need to know is never to be slow peeking things. So just like holding shift or whatever your walk button is and then walking out, that's called slow peeking. And you never really want to be doing that unless you're in certain scenarios. I'll kind of talk about that a little bit more in a little bit, but never want to be doing that because the reason is more than likely wherever you're peeking from, the enemy team is like holding down. So say I'm peeking this corner right here and there's someone back here on plat kind of just holding down here. I'm a lot closer to this corner than they are, so when I peek out here, they're going to see me before I see them. So like my shoulder is probably showing for me on their side, but I can't see them at all. If I peek out a little bit more, then I would be able to see them. But they're just going to be able to see me first, and so you don't want to be slow walking this, or else they're going to have better reactions to you peeking out here if you're slow walking. So instead of slow walking, what you want to do is you want to do a strafe peek, and basically all you have to do is hold A or D, whichever way you're peeking. So if you're peeking right, hold D. If you're peeking left, hold A, and you just kind of walk out into that angle quicker, and you kind of just want to hold, like in this case, I hold A for like a second and let go of it. I'm just kind of stopped and have my crosshair on that place where he's at. If you haven't watched my crosshair placement video, make sure you go watch that. This will really help with peeking and other things like that. So go watch that video. But yeah, so always want to be kind of strafe peeking things. So like this. So say I'm peeking this corner first, I'm gonna strafe peek, and I'm peeking plat, and I'm peeking backside. So I'm just kind of strafe peeking out instead of walking, which is bad. The only cases you want to walk in are, say you're in like kind of lurking around and you hear where the enemy team is at. Now if you know where they're at and like know they're like past you, or you're like kind of behind them and you have some timing and stuff, then you can walk out on angles and you don't really have to jiggle things where you think people are at. You can kind of like walk out on them and walk through and not really have to worry about so much. But if you're not really lurking and you're not entirely sure where they're at, then you should be kind of jiggle peeking and strafe peeking out. And another thing with this is, instead of just strafing out and stopping, what you can do is you can kind of jiggle back and forth for that angle. Kind of like how I'm doing here. I'm just jiggling out real quick and then going back in. So then I kind of get the info of if they're holding this from that angle. So if like there's someone sitting here and I jiggle out and I'm back in, I would have seen him, so I know he's there. And you can also do like a little, like a shot or two in between the jiggle. So if I were to peek out here, kind of like something like that. So you can kind of peek stuff like that also. And also another thing to kind of know with peeking is jump peeking. If you don't know really how to jump peek, it is super helpful, and it's something that you should definitely know how to do. It helps in so many different situations, so make sure you go watch my video about jump peeking. That will help you out a lot. I have a very easy way for you to jump peek, and it's so simple. So make sure you go check that out if you don't know how to jump peek. But that's basically it for peeking different things. You just don't really want to be slow peeking and taking bad fights by because of they see me first at this angle. That's a bad fight to take if I'm just like walk peeking out. So just always want to be taking the best fights and peeking things in the best possible way for like the situations that you have. But yeah, that's about it. Check out my other videos.